Hunting a high-value target usually relies on intercepting digital mistakes. But when a target completely abandons the electronic grid, the modern intelligence apparatus goes blind. In December 2001, the United States dropped 7 million pounds of ordnance on the Tora Bora Mountains in eastern Afghanistan. The overwhelming kinetic force failed. The rugged, untrackable terrain allowed the target to slip across the border into Pakistan. Upon escaping, the target initiated a strict counter-surveillance protocol. He immediately ceased all use of unsecure radios, cell phones, and satellite communications. With that single operational pivot, billions of dollars of United States signals intelligence infrastructure were neutralized. There were no cell towers to triangulate and no radio frequencies to jam. To find an individual emitting zero data, intelligence agencies had to stop searching for digital frequencies and start tracking the analog, physical shadow he left behind. Without electronics, the target maintained command over global operatives through a highly specialized, human-driven courier network. The system was entirely air-gapped. The target wrote physical letters and handed them directly to a trusted courier. This chart outlines the technological laundering process. The courier would drive to remote internet cafes, type the letters onto a computer, and save the messages as unsent drafts in a shared email account. Then they simply logged out. Decentralized operatives around the world possessed the password to that same account. They logged in and read the draft. Because no email was ever actually sent, the communication bypassed the automated triggers designed to flag active terrorist traffic. Cracking this communication chain required a complete tactical shift. Intelligence teams had to stop hunting data packets and start physically hunting the human nodes carrying the physical drives. That human node was a man named Ibrahim. As the target's most trusted courier, he was the sole physical link between the isolated compound and the outside world. In August 2010, Ibrahim made a single operational security lapse. To avoid the hassle of his usual secure methods, he placed a brief phone call from his personal cell phone while standing in a public area of Peshawar. That microburst of cellular data was caught by CIA surveillance. It allowed analysts to immediately geolocate Ibrahim's exact position within the city limits. The operation instantly transitioned to human intelligence. Covert operatives visually identified Ibrahim and locked onto his specific vehicle, a white Suzuki Jeep. Operatives tracked the Jeep as it navigated out of Peshawar, following it for hours until it reached a highly fortified destination in the Bilal town neighborhood of Abbottabad. The cell phone ping did not reveal the target. It revealed the courier, whose subsequent movements led the CIA directly to the gates of the Abbottabad fortress. The structure in Abbottabad immediately alarmed CIA analysts. The physical footprint of the estate directly contradicted its surrounding civilian environment. This image displays the structure's extreme spatial anomalies. A 38,000 square foot plot enclosed by 18-foot concrete perimeter walls, topped with barbed wire. Despite the multi-million-dollar estate, there were no telephone or internet cables. It was deliberately severed from the grid. The third floor featured a bizarre architectural anomaly: opaque 7-foot privacy walls built directly into the balcony, completely blocking line of sight from the surrounding elevated terrain. The architecture functioned as static counter-surveillance. The layout proved that whoever lived inside required extreme, militarized isolation from the outside world. To understand exactly who was inside, the CIA rented a safe house just 1 mile away. From there, they established a daily pattern of life analysis on the compound's inhabitants. Using infrared cameras, they tracked occupancy and body heat. They even planted listening devices in the trees surrounding the property to capture ambient conversations. Analysts soon identified a mysterious figure they called the Pacer. He was a tall man who walked the third-floor balcony daily, but never left the compound and never assisted the others with chores. To identify him, analysts attempted to calculate the ratio of his shadow against the 7-foot balcony wall. The math yielded a probabilistic height range between 5'5" and 6'8", too wide to confirm a positive match. A final attempt to gather definitive biological proof relied on a local doctor who ran a fake hepatitis B vaccination drive aimed at securing DNA from the compound's children. The courier turned him away at the gate. After years of multimodal surveillance, the CIA maxed out at a 60 to 90% probability. They had mapped a highly suspicious operational profile, but still lacked absolute proof of the target's identity. The Situation Room faced a severe strategic dilemma, executing a kinetic strike inside a sovereign nation when target probability was not 100%. The first option was a B-2 bomber strike. Dropping 24 guided munitions guaranteed destruction, but it would obliterate the DNA evidence needed to confirm the kill and trigger massive civilian collateral damage. The second option, Operation Neptune Spear, a special operations raid offering precise visual and biometric identification that placed U.S. personnel at extreme risk of death or capture. The raid was approved. It required specialized aeronautical logistics, pilots from the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment flying customized, low-observable stealth Blackhawks. They flew barely above the terrain to successfully evade Pakistani radar. Redundant overwatch was provided by an RQ-170 Sentinel stealth drone monitoring the airspace above the compound. The high-risk tactical raid was chosen to solve the intelligence gap. Exposing personnel to physical danger was the only way to guarantee absolute identity verification. The initial kinetic execution plan called for 2 helicopters, Chalk 1 and Chalk 2, to simultaneously fast-rope personnel into different sectors of the compound. But as Chalk 2 hovered over the target, it encountered a severe aerodynamic failure. The 18-foot concrete walls trapped the downward rotor airflow, recirculating it back through the blades, a condition known as vortex ring state. The helicopter lost lift entirely. With seconds to react, the pilot intentionally crash-landed the helicopter, driving its nose into the dirt to prevent a fatal roll. The SEALs safely exited the downed aircraft. Chalk 1 immediately executed a tactical pivot. Abandoning the fast row plan, they landed outside the walls, utilized C4 explosives to breach the outer doors, and neutralized the courier in the guest house. The extreme redundancies built into the tactical planning absorbed the aeronautical failure, allowing the assault team to proceed without losing momentum. Inside the main compound, the assault force initiated a systematic floor-by-floor clearing operation, neutralizing armed threats on the ground and first levels. Reaching the 3rd floor, operators encountered a tall figure in the dark. In a matter of seconds, they visually identified and neutralized the primary target. The moment the target fell, the operation shifted entirely. The kinetic assault ended, and a rapid intelligence gathering phase began. Operators enacted a strict on-site verification protocol. They separated the compound's women and children, using an embedded translator to extract verbal confirmation of the target's identity from his family members. Simultaneously, the team collected vital physical evidence, stripping the compound of hard drives, seizing paper documents, and extracting a DNA sample for final biometric matching in Afghanistan. When digital footprints vanish, raw data is not enough. Resolving a complete intelligence blind spot requires the careful synthesis of analog tracking, architectural analysis, and adaptable tactical execution on the ground.